Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Yalik, and today we're going to do a Fat Fingers video, which I've not been able to do in quite a while. I've received some commentary upon that. So this is Fat Fingers. These are my guys. Maverick is not here at the moment, but Argus, Perrins, and Sven. And we have been hovering in the 20s on the 5-man leaderboard for longer than I care to admit. Yesterday, I think we were up in the higher 20s. We've dropped back to the lower 20s. And today will end up being more of the same. We'll jump up a certain bit when this operation currently ends in 3 hours and 17 minutes. And yeah, we've been treading water. Hate to say that, but it's the truth. Today looks like a pretty good day. Not gonna lie. We've got one hit remaining, yes. So one hit remaining, that axe, I've looked at it, Argus will be in charge of that. It's 3 shocks, not too bad. So we should have 950, 960 force points today, which is a very nice day. I believe, I didn't do the math on this, so don't quote me on this, but the last time I pushed with Fat Fingers, one of our members said that we needed to average 900 points a day to hit number 1. Probably still more or less true if it was true at the time. That's difficult, and we've had some good days, we've had some bad days, but we're going to look at, today should be a pretty good day. Yesterday wasn't a terrible day, but we had Strategize and Alamo, so that was going to be a problem. So, you know, life hands you lemons. We made the best that we could out of that. This day with the 1024 force points, we're going to watch those hits. This 976, that was pretty good. We're going to watch that Phobos too, because apparently people want to see me fail, and I don't know why, but I'm going to show you a fail. And it wasn't a terrible fail, but it was a frustrating fail. So we've had a lot of days like that in here, where there's just one thing that goes wrong. And that ended up still being a very good day, 976 force points. Some of these other ones in here, not quite as good. And, I mean, the blame goes all around. Everybody has that day. But we've just had a run here, and this is what I mean about the treading water. We've had a run here where there's been a predictable screw-up somewhere. You know, it happens. So the last time that we had a max points operation, if you look at the very bottom of this operation log, the 1131 there at the bottom, 20 days ago, almost 21 days ago, that was the last time that we got max points. You can't do better than 1131 in a 5-man. So it's been kind of an ugly stretch. But this was one day, and we'll look at these, where we actually got to enjoy ourselves and congratulate ourselves a little bit. So we'll start off. Perrins had Ballast. Ballast is easy until you screw it up. And I say that because in the last few months I have screwed up a Ballast, and it's very frustrating because you expect to solo this base. This is actually a fairly large Ballast, 190. It's about as big as they get. This base shows up on like all level of operations. Oops. Got chipped by the flamethrower, or the machine gun there a little bit, but doesn't look too bad. Like this is one of the first AZ walks you learn. This base appears on, I mean, I know I see it down on Mambo and operations like that, but here we would expect the health to be a little bit higher. Just the 2. Actually, he probably could have gone away with just the 2 shocks there. Normally, these guys back here are rocket launchers. In this case, they weren't. But just to be extra cautious, and I believe at this time we had cheap shocks still, he shocked the rocket launchers over here. The health on this, we said, so 12. Between 1.4 and 1.5. Again, that's about as big of a Ballast as you will ever see. I don't know if Ballast... bases can fall within certain ranges. I don't know if I've ever seen a Ballast that was over 200. Interesting. Well, anyway. So, that was Perrins, and that was Ballast. And that was, let's see, a very, very clean hit. 7 girls. No, that was the wrong day. Here, 16 girls. Right. I'm paying attention. So, Sven, is pretty much our complex guy unless it's parents. So Sven and parents, they handle complex, and I never do. So we had a weird complex here. It's the 298 base on this op, which means the health is going to be pretty high. That's 2.2, almost, 2.3 million or something like that. That's quite a bit. And with the CMO being right there where it is, it saves you a shock on the one hand, but on the other hand, it would definitely kill Brick unless you shock it on the way by. Sven decided to go a different direction. Well, it's always the same direction, but he decided to use a different approach. We'll speed through the walk here. He brought Bullet, and so the question was whether it was going to be Bullet and Knuckles, or whether it was going to be Bullet and Taunt. I guess either one of those could have worked here. Peeked a little bit down there. That's unusual. He doesn't do that very often. He is like the pro on this base. It ended up being Knuckles. As you can see, the little animation there, he just activated Shock Knuckles, and the boom cannon got that little animation showing it's selected. So, Knuckles, he has just one shock to keep doing. And as I recall, like, this felt like forever and a day. Well, just watching the replay on this yesterday, it feels like he stands here. He's already on shock number 2, and he's halfway through that. He just stands here for a very, very, very long time. That's kind of fun, actually. You don't normally get to stand here for... We're coming on like 25 seconds now. That's the third shock. So, like, stand there for 25 seconds and shoot. Bullet did take a bit of a beating there with the boom cannons and with that CMO firing at him. But all's well. That actually works out great because Bullet takes any fire that you would get from those rocket launchers over in the corner. And what did we say that was? Like 2.3, 2.4 million? He made it look easy. I can assure you it's not that easy. Speaking from experience. This was different. This is Argus, and he did circuit board. I clicked on this yesterday to watch the replay, and yesterday, day before, whatever day this happened, I clicked on this to watch the replay, and I was like, what the hell? Because what is Sparky doing here? And this is not really an approach I normally would use on circuit board. Let's see, health. Core is a little under 1.2. He decided to go with the clearing approach. And again, I did say that there are cheap shocks happening here, so he's going to take advantage of that, use that on the rocket launchers over here, and he's just going to stand over here and shoot for a bit. He brought Sparky in order to, you see he's marked this shock launcher, he's going to hack that shock launcher. One shock, 2 shocks, 3 shocks, hack. Didn't flare anything, so Sparky just selects the rocket launcher automatically because it's the only damaged thing in the area. 2 more shocks over here, so now he's at 5. Critters. Those flamethrowers aren't a huge concern there, but you do want to keep some of those heavies alive. That was shock number 6, I believe, and 7. These cheap shocks are amazing. I don't know what the shield health on this would be, and I can't calculate it right now. But yeah, he just decided to go straight up power approach. Is it 2 more shocks? So would that be 9 at this point? That's a lot of shocks. Yeah, he just decided to go straight up and just power right through it. And he still has a couple heavies down there too, so he would have been fine regardless. But taking well advantage of that cheap shock tribe in order to accomplish this hit. So that was pretty cool. I normally just go with the, remove the shield gens back here. There's a third over here. Leave that one and just power through it with the All-Zuka. But the health, there's another base where the health is never extremely high because it's, well, they don't get too much bigger than that either. Manticore. Now this was nice because I screwed up a Manticore where? Wasn't the 976, might be the 786. and I forget exactly what the hang-up was. I think I might have had like one girl peek or something like that. Anyway, it didn't die, and somebody else had to clean up my mess. So, got another crack at Manticore. And this one, I thought about doing it as its own separate video, but I figured since I was doing this video, I wouldn't bother. This is not a nice Manticore. This is just, ugh, gross. So the health, let's see, almost 9, so just under 2 million, so there's fun. And we've got rocket launchers all along the side over here, which wouldn't be a problem, except that it does cost a little bit more GBE to land, because we're going to need extra smoke. GBE on this hit is always tight. I had considered not doing this, because bomber farm, that's kind of my gig. I'd considered not doing this because of the health on the core, and then I was just thinking, just straight up rush, and try to get it down as quickly as possible, but I tried my GBE out and decided that I wasn't going to have enough. So I had to go with the 7-boat Suzukas and the farming. Core hit is pretty basic. The shocks are the same as normal. There are fewer rockets up top, which is nice. That will keep my critters alive longer. And really the only different thing about this hit is where I'm going to throw my critters, because now I have these rocket launchers behind me. 2 important things. Absolutely must have the delay for all of this stuff in order to make this hit work. And then instead of throwing the critters up here where you normally would, I'm going to throw one critter down here and one critter up here. So that way the critter over on this side, the right side, should draw fire from all of these rockets that range the kill zone from the rear. And the other fun thing is that there's 10 million flamethrowers on the walk, so don't peek, but it didn't matter, because don't peek anyway, because you have to have the delay. Wasn't worried so much about that. I like my flare points on this base. I get a pretty good walk that's pretty easy to manage. Yes, they are still going over there. I've talked a lot. I think things are about to happen. Yeah, there we go. So sometimes I will flare the bombers over there to get them killed a little bit quicker, but in this case, I let them farm like every last bit of GBE. I think I was down under 2 minutes. I want to say it was like 1:45 or something on the clock. I farmed a lot. So right next to that 9 on the ground there, that's my flare point. And then the girls are going to pull together through those 2 flamethrowers, and then you have a nice, easy line, single file line to smoke. So far so good with the delay, right? We said that was important. Excuse me, I have an eyelash on my screen and it's driving me crazy. So there's that low critter. And more critters. And this is the point where you just pray. More critters. Timing was not perfect on all those critters, but it was good enough. And down went that base. Unlike the one from a couple of days before that. And finally, Mav finished off the operation with this little orb. That was, so that was the other thing. That was the 262 base, and it got left. So normally we try to go in order. The 298 comes first, if possible. If it's not possible, like the strategize from the other day, then the 262, and so on. You get the big force point bases out of the way first. In this particular operation, the 3 guys hit ahead of me. So that would be what, Perrins, Argus, and Sven, and then they left the Manticore up and basically said good luck. So there was a little bit of extra stress on that one, just because, we've had a bunch of screw ups lately, and I really could not afford to screw up again. This is a different landing. I like this little alley here for orb. That little power cell in between the machine guns, because the paths you get through those machine guns are sometimes very weird. It took me a while to realize why that is. So within the past 5 or 6 months, I failed on a really low-level orbifold, and my walk through here was just bad. I failed twice. I did it again. I thought I had a better here with the cheap shocks again, so that should help. He's ignoring the blaster entirely. He's gotten up away from the machine guns. The health on this wouldn't be too high, so that's all you need. I failed twice, and it was because of pathing, going through this area, and I realized I actually got out something that had a straight edge to check my path, and I realized that these defenses are set up, and these in the ring are set up in such a way that they trick your eye, so it looks like you're flaring a straight line, but you're actually not. So you have to be pretty careful about your flare points on that base, which is why I like that little path that Maverick took there, because you get a nicer walk. There's nothing to confuse your eye there, basically, on that walk. So where are we at? 15 and almost 16 minutes. So we will go to the Phobos that was not, and this was a good op, 976 points, but it could have been a max day, and we didn't get it. So that's leaving points on the table because somebody had to clean up my mess. That's kind of the way it's gone recently. Regardless, this wasn't a terrible hit because this wasn't a nice Phobos. Even with the cheap shocks, too many things to shock. And it was fairly healthy, so 1.7-ish. I had decided I was going to go up top here and park up against the wall, so from there I don't have to worry about these machine guns, don't have to worry about these flamethrowers, and I'm going to try a bullet stop trick on the walk. Also going to farm up a little bit of GBE at the beginning of this because it's available and because I can. Walk was fine here, that wasn't the issue. We can go a little more quickly through this because we need to get to that bullet shock part. That's the important thing here. So, feeling pretty good. Got a nice little line there. You can see that they're going to go up that row of power cells. Great. Right about this point. So, I flare all the way to the back wall. And so the plan was shock bullet down here. Preferably sort of next to the building health statue there. He needs to be down low. I can shock this stuff up high, and then if bullet is down low here, all of these rocket launchers will focus on him. But in order for that to work, you have to get him shocked in the right spot. Kind of important. And I was late on this. And then, I had realized I was late, and I was sort of in panic mode. Missed him, or thought I had missed him. And I knew he was too high, so I then tried to throw a second shock, probably shocked some of my girls, messed up bullet again. Now he's not where he's supposed to be, and he's shocked when we come out of smoke here. So I got roasted. Now, mind you, I had the GBE for more shocks here, and now the girls that are left, sadly too few of them, but they are free to shoot here for a little while. So what did we say the health was there? Around 1.7. It didn't end up being a terrible hit. I mean, it's an easy cleanup for the next guy, right? There's a couple 100,000 left on there, or whatever it might be. You can flash kill that. Unfortunately, in a 5-man, you don't really need hits that are easy cleanup. That would have been a great hit in a 25-man or a 50-man, but in a 5-man, that does not cut it. So there you go. That is me panicking, losing my head for a moment, and failing. I don't know why you enjoy watching that. You can watch bad operation hits in whatever task force you're in, most likely. Just click on the attack log, and you'll probably see a whole lot of AZ screw-ups, if anybody uses AZ in your task force at all. But there you go. There you have it. There you go. That's us screwing up. And I'm not going to show you anybody else screwing up, but if I'm going to show you a screw-up, that's one of mine. It's been... Like I said, it's been a couple of weeks like that. This is 21 days ago almost since max force points. That's kind of, it's very frustrating. But all that said, we're still, I mean, that's not exactly embarrassing, although we could be doing better. So anyway, you take your lumps and you keep on. So that's Fat Fingers. Hopefully I will have another one of these to do sooner rather than later, but we shall see. Like the video, thumbs up. I'll catch you guys later. Take care.